If you do not move your armies out of the Papal States, we will be forced to no longer bank with your family and to help His Holiness take back whatever he feels necessary in the future. You cannot desecrate the holy city like this.
Sir, we no longer have any troops.
Shaped in the battles of the Reconquista, the Crown of Castile is in fact not just one kingdom, but a union of the kingdoms of Castile, Leon, Toledo, Galicia, Murcia, Jaén, Cordoba, Sevilla, under the Castilian branch of the Trastamara dynasty. What remains of the Moorish presence in Iberia is now restricted to the southern kingdom of Granada, still a rich Muslim sultanate in many ways, but also marred by infighting and frequent border skirmishes with Christian raiders. Surrounded on all sides by Castilian castles, it seems to be a matter of time before the Reconquista is brought to its logical conclusion and the kingdom is annexed. For now, however, Castile has problems of its own. The Castilian nobles and the local courts of the various constituted kingdoms still hold a large degree of power, a lot of power, and many Trastamara kings have found themselves at the mercy of the states of their kingdoms. Factions acting entirely out of their own interests have not shied away from supporting foreign powers from Portugal and Aragon in the past. If the kingdom can be united by a strong rule and the Reconquista completed, Castile will have a fearsome military force in its hands, with a long tradition of fighting for the expansion of the Christian faith. While Castile lacks the seafaring tradition of neighboring Portugal, they have just as good access to the Atlantic Ocean and new trade routes that are opening up to the west and south. Obviously, during this time period in Castile, as a lot of Europe, nobles are very powerful. Nobles hold, honestly, most of the power, really everywhere. That's how it was back in the day. But King Juan didn't like sharing power with nobles. And as a result, the nobles in our country conspired with the King of Aragon, who's our relative, he's also Trastamara, to kidnap us. We've been kidnapped twice by Alfonso de Trastamara. Recently, too. We were literally kidnapped by him and our nobles like a year ago. So, yeah, the situation's pretty wild. All right, let's set our rivals for this game. Morocco, obviously. We are a very, very religious family and a very religious country. So the damn Moors will have to fight. I don't think we're going to rival. No, we need to rival Aragon. They've kidnapped us twice. The game starts you off with friendly relations, sometimes with Aragon, but realistically, their leaders kidnapped us multiple times. There's no way we're not going to rival Aragon. Since actually, historically, the Trastamara family came from Burgundy, but there's been a souring of relations, so it makes sense that we wouldn't be too happy with them. So just a reminder for our traits, we're naive enthusiasts, so we'll just rush into things. We are zealous, so we love the Lord. And we are well advised, so we have good advisors. Our queen consort is tolerant, so yeah, she's not the best. She's a secular liberal in 1444. And she gave us an absolutely horrible child, Enrique de Trastamara. He's infertile and he's just incompetent. So I am going to have a talk with His Holiness soon. We're going to go on a trip to the Vatican where I'm going to ask for the Pope's opinion on what to do with my son. Whether or not I should allow him to take the throne of Castile, or whether we should disinherit him entirely. But this is not a decision I can make alone. I must ask the Pope for guidance, for he is the Lord's mouthpiece on earth. All right, once our opinion of the Pope is at 100, we are going to take a trip to the Vatican to consult His Holiness on, obviously, the ending of the Reconquista, as well as what to do about our son, Enrique. We will get his guidance and make a decision to enable leader. We've been insulted by Morocco. Sultan Abdul Haq II. We'll have to talk to Portugal about taking action due to that. They aren't supporting. No, they are. They are allied with Granada. Well, we'll need to talk to the Portuguese about that. All right, I'm going to take a trip to Lisbon to speak with His Majesty Infante Pedro. Or Alfonso V, who's a child, so I'll have to speak with his regent. Hello there.
Hello there.
This is His Majesty King Juan II of Castile.
Oh.
Am I speaking with the regent for King Alfonso?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Correct.
It is good to speak with you. I am here to consult another pious Iberian Catholic kingdom about the ending of the Reconquista.
Of the Granada?
Indeed. We must finally rid this peninsula of the plague that the Moors brought here long ago and finish this once and for all.
It is about time someone has said that we must get rid of those fiddles. and get our Iberia in a safe place.
I agree. Now, the Granadan emir, he is allied with the Sultan of Morocco. And although we could probably fight them alone, it would be a very great task. So I come here with a proposal.
What is your proposal, sir?
I would ask that we forge both an alliance and consummate it of a royal marriage between our two great Catholic houses. We would fight and end the Reconquista together, me taking Granada, as well as a port in Morocco, and you taking your pick of any territory of the Sultan in Northern Africa.
Sir, that is a very great offer, and I am very interested in this. But I need to make some things clear. I am only here as a regent.
I understand.
And I want Portugal to stay as the best power, and I don't want to get in any war between the Catholic brothers. And I agree with your proposition. We should get a royal marriage. We should complete our families. That is a very good offer.
Let me make one thing very clear to you. I am a man of God. All of my decisions come with the understanding of the Lord's desire on earth. Wars against pagans, wars against Muslims, that is something I care nothing for. But a war against another Catholic king, I would never do unless absolutely forced unto it. We have had a long relationship with the Kingdom of Portugal, and I know that when I die, my children and their children perhaps will say things differently, and that is why I am suggesting the royal marriage. If we were to bind our royal families together, I hope that it would ensure good lasting relations in perpetuity.
Yes. That is a very good offer, sir. I have nothing else to say. I accept your proposal, and I hope that our families will unite together and we will be better in the future.
Wonderful. In that case, I will go ahead and write up the royal paperwork on that.
Yes. I have signed that.
And then we shall sign a great alliance together. I would have one more request before I return home to Toledo to prepare for the Reconquista. As you know, your nation leads the entire world and all of Europe in your great seafaring prowess. The academy that you have in the Algarve, I'm saying that wrong, as well as just the well-known fact that you are great seafarers. Castile wishes, as she comes to great power, to be able to also conquer the waves and find new lands far from Europe. And I would ask that you help to teach my seafarers, for they are not as experienced as yours, the ways of the ocean, so that we may explore this world together.
Oh yes, I am accepting that, and I hope that we will finally find some news and teach people the power of our God.
Of course, it is the duty of any God-fearing Christian to bring the light of the Lord to all corners of the darkness.
Yes.
Thank you for your time, and we will speak again soon, my friend.
Please stay safe.
You as well. Wonderful. Yeah. So in the roleplay, I really want us to basically forge a really good alliance with Portugal. Now, if this is a single player, just casual game, I'd conquer their ass. But this is roleplay, and I think it's a lot more interesting to have a good roleplay dynamic with a Portuguese player. So we're gonna try and forge a very long-lasting relationship. The only reason I would even consider breaking it or going against it is if we get like a really shitty leader, because sometimes you get leaders who are basically like. There's a certain trait you can get for a leader that makes them just a total asshole. So, unless that happens. Historically, the Pope divided the world. Obviously, what is it called? The Treaty of Tortilla?
Bruh.
Where he basically gave, like, Portugal the east and gave Spain the west. But that was because, at the time, I think they were really competing with each other. Now, if we can cooperate enough, we can define it ourselves and have it be done in a much more, like, useful way. The Treaty of Tordesillas. That's what it was. Yeah, I know. I knew it was something like that. God damn it. I know. I really love that there's a nation called Sus. All right. Right now we are preparing our army for the Reconquista. We are training. We will recruit more men soon. And with the power of the Portuguese and ourselves, we will be able to push them out. Now the Moroccans, they will have, I think, a pretty strong army. But our fleet should be able to keep them at bay. All right, what's our relationship with the Pope? All right, 125. At this point, King Juan II has currently undergone a trip to the Vatican to see the most holy place in Christendom besides Jerusalem and to consult with His Holiness. He will ask two questions, the first of which is when he should begin the Reconquista to push out Granada. When will be a day ordained by the Lord? The second question is to what to do of Enrique de Trastamara, his son, a man who, to be frank, at best, is incompetent. We will ask the Pope what his thoughts are, if we should keep him, if the Lord would wish this fool to rule, or whether we should disinherit him. Castile secured a monopoly on the export of wool from merino flocks. This fine wool is prized in markets from Seville to Flanders and is an important cornerstone of the Castilian economy. The ranchers, mostly nobles and clergy, have organized themselves into Mesta, an organization promoting their interest at court and local governance. It's a lobbying group. Interesting. The influence ensures that it remains a serious crime to export sheep of this breed outside of Castile. That's pretty cool. It's not good for us, but it is pretty cool. Request privileges? Yes. Our leader's been kidnapped by the nobles once before, so we're obviously going to be very hesitant to not give them whatever they want, and we are going to disinherit Enrique. We'll say that while we were in the Papal States talking to the Pope, we also went to Naples, and we had a talk with their king, King Giovanni, and we decided to bind our families together. Oh my god! We married an Italian princess. She's a 454. Wow. She's secretive, though. That's a little worrying. Perhaps we don't trust our wives too well, but regardless, as the Lord ordained, we shall share our marriage bed. We have the money for more heavy ships. We'll build one more heavy. We'll build 2 barks and a galley. I think we have enough. I'm going to take primacy of the nobility. I'll do it later. When we can afford to lose some more crown land, we're going to do it. Because the nobility dominates Castile. Like, I read a little bit about the history of our current leader and our situation. And the nobility absolutely dominates, so it would make sense that we give them privileges. And we get admin points, so it's a good trade-off.
Hello.
Hello there.
How are you doing?
I'm quite well. King Alfonso, it is a pleasure to formally meet you. I know we have exchanged a few letters, but it is very good to formally meet you here in Lisbon. Yeah. I would just like to say that we are about to launch the Reconquista, and we hope that you will honor your promises and join us.
Yes, I am aware of that pact that my mother did when I was just a boy, and I respect those terms, and I am still following them.
Wonderful.
And yes, I will be joining you.
If I have put troops on the border next to Gibraltar, and I have my navy ready. Would it be possible for our navies to meet up immediately, as I know that the Moroccans do have a very strong navy? My fleet is in the Sevilla port. If you could connect it there, we would be able to destroy their fleet, hopefully, with a lightning strike.
Ceuta is falling, as I'm hearing from my men.
I can see.
But I think
the garrison will hopefully hold long enough. If we can finish them off in Iberia, we will cross and destroy their army there. It's a beautiful thing to be alive at the end of the Reconquista. I must say, this is something that our people have been aspiring to for generations. We caught some ships in the Strait of Gibraltar. Next to the Pillars of Hercules, we will sink the last of their ships. Are you able to take out the army that is currently ravaging my lands in the south? Murcia, the garrison in Murcia has fallen, and they are looting my people there. My army is locked into a siege, so I cannot withdraw.
I shall go and save our Christian brothers.
Thank you, my friend. The siege of Malacca is almost over. I suspect we will get truce terms very soon from the garrison. Or we will breach the walls. Ah, I have an heir.
Let me come help.
Praise the Lord. I have an heir. I shall name him Henry. A good Christian name.
I am waiting for your troops to arrive in Jebel Tariq before we make a move.
I wish to see the capital of Granada fall first, then we will cross together.
Our country, Portugal, our kingdom, has a very good claim in Tangiers, and I want to make that clear before we together move into Morocco, sir.
I will allow this, but the Garb port will be Spanish.
Tangiers.
We'll take the garrison. I will move to the capital in Fez, and hopefully rout the army in the mountains. Granada has fallen!
Would you like me to stick together, or would you like me to go east or south? I will say that going south for me is a better option while you're busy with the capital.
I think as long as we take the important cities of Morocco, we will get a peace that is very desirable, and then this war will be done. The troops are retreating into the Atlas Mountains.
As we agreed, I'm going. After all, may God help them find their way.
If they will not find it themselves, we will find it for them. The Great Boolean Famine. We often pay in gold to import silk, aluminum, spices, and pearls from the east. A trade between east and west becomes increasingly frequent. The deficit of gold in Europe becomes more apparent. Gold has become an increasingly rare commodity in our world, but the demand for luxuries has not decreased. If we were to gain access to a source of gold outside Europe, put an end to this bullion famine. Oh, that's not good.
Oh well, things back home are not going well at all.
What is the issue?
My nobles seem to not like me anymore.
I've been dealing with that my whole reign. I mean, you yourself know. I was taken prisoner by my nobles at one point, and as such, I've had no choice but to give them even more privileges, which has frankly made my power quite weak. But right now, we are all united, even the nobles and the Reconquista. Though afterwards, I do worry what will happen.
My queen consort has passed away, unfortunately.
That is a tragedy.
That is a tragedy indeed.
It is always part of the Lord's plan. You must remember that.
Yes. At least I have my son and heir, Joe de Awi, to support me in this sad day.
Now the question is, should we continue to go down the coastline and siege them, or should we attack their army in the mountains?
I will say we can try our luck with the army, and then if we are successful,
They're running.
with God's help,
Let's go.
oh, they're running. Yes.
May the Lord be with us and anoint this holy battlefield. The war is over. Wonderful. The Reconquista is complete.
Yes, that was a very good war, sir, and I was proud to be there with you as a friend. And
King
I
Afonso, you have honored your word, and you have proven your house to be one that I hope we will be allied with and work together for in the future. Although we have pushed the Muslims out of Iberia, the north coastline of Africa must be brought under Christendom
Yes,
in the future. I'm sure you can agree.
yes, I can totally agree with that.
Wonderful. Well, it is an honor. I myself will be taking a pilgrimage to the Vatican to speak with His Holiness after this great victory soon, so perhaps I will see you there. If not, we will speak very soon, my friend. We'll get a traitor into our court. That'll make the burghers like us more. We might get a civil war here. We're gonna rival Tunis. That's a player. We need to have a talk with the leader of Florence.
I'm like, oh,
Medici!
Your masters are gonna come right in.
Medici!
We are coming to talk.
It's that dog here!
We are here to speak with you. You must understand.
Medici! Why have you brought armies into Rome?
They are trying to push and further their control over the Italian peninsula, and that cannot be allowed. We will not be.
You are clearly not a man of God. I have heard horrible things at the Medicis, and I thought many of them to be untrue. In the past, we have put our money safely into Florence. If you do not move your armies out of the Papal States, we will be forced to no longer bank with your family and to help His Holiness take back whatever he feels necessary in the future. You cannot desecrate the holy city like this.
Sir, we no longer have any troops in Rome.
You continue to occupy those lands.
Yes, that is because they are taking control of free Italian states to the north, and we wish to free them from that control.
You were the one who attacked His Holiness.
We understand that. We agree that we did indeed declare war on the Pope, but it is from him deciding to enact restrictions on Italian people.
Let me make one thing very clear, Medici. We have formally made a pact with His Holiness, and in the future, if you aggress upon the Holy Lands, God's disciple and mouthpiece on earth, the Castilian armies will go into Florence and sack your sacrilegious city and burn your capital to the ground. Is that understood?
That is understood, clear.
Good. I would also caution you to consider your eternal soul. I do not know how religious of a man you are, as I know there are all manner of debauchery in your city. But you must consider that if you would fight the Pope, you will burn in hell for eternity. Think to your eternal soul before you take such actions.
We will talk with our bishops.
May you find your way back into the graces of the Lord. You know our words. Disgusting Medicis. Initially started as a humble Franciscan friar, Francisco Jimenez de Cisneros was thrown in prison for his disagreements with the Archbishop of Toledo. Upon his release, Jimenez devoted his life to reforming the church, gaining such a reputation of holiness that he became Archbishop himself, as well as a personal confessor to Isabella de Castilla and Cardinal. Convoking long overdue synods, Jimenez rooted out most, if not all, clerical corruption in Spain. We'll embrace those reforms, absolutely. University of Alcala. The brainchild of Jimenez de Cisneros, a new University of Alcala is open to produce the best educated clergy in the world and become known especially for its studies of biblical languages and skill at translating them. In addition, its harmonized Renaissance humanist ideas with solid Catholic dogma is a way no other clerical school did. During the Reformation years, it will grow to become a powerhouse of the Catholic Counter-Reformation, sending trained priests to hold back reformers in Ireland, France, and Italy, as well as producing many missionaries for Spain's overseas territories. Whatever they need, we will give them. Well, the clergy really don't like us. That's disappointing to hear. Let's call it. What do the clergy want? They want a higher base tax in Sevilla. Wonderful. We've made peace with the cardinals.
This is Hugo van Heg, representative of the Dutch Workers Guild.
Ah! Welcome to Toledo. Welcome to my court. What can I do for you?
We are going around to the various courts of Christian kings, Catholic kings, to bring awareness of our regent, Duke Charles, of Portugal, and his oppression of Catholic zealots who have risen up against him because of his impure ideology.
What is the religion of this man? He is Catholic, is he not?
He claims to be Catholic, however, he is corrupt, and he has stolen much gold from the church.
If that is true, that is a great accusation against him. Do you have any proof to back this up?
The fact that we are continuing to rebel against him, as you can see, or I don't know if you can get the reports of what's happening in Burgundy right now, but there has been non-stop rebellions.
I know.
From the peasants as well as the Catholics in the nation, because we are so upset by this atrocity against the church.
That is very worrying to hear. Have you spoken with His Holiness?
The Pope, unfortunately at the time, had issues with the Republic of Florida.
So has the Pope issued an excommunique of the...
No, not yet. We're asking that we would fund Castile armies if they were to help support not only our independence, but the freedom of majority of the lowlands from Burgundian tyranny.
Considering the unholy actions of Duke Charles, we would consider it. However, I will say that at this moment, I can do nothing. I must keep my armies in Iberia, as there is a great revolution brewing. My nobles are preparing, I believe, an insurrection against this throne, and I must put it down. After we have routed these rebels and destroyed them, I would definitely consider what you are suggesting. However, although I am a man of God and would do this for that reason, bringing my armies to faraway lands would be expensive, so it would require compensation.
We will give you 100 ducats now, is in good faith. We appreciate your piety in saving the Christian.
Of course.
movement.
We are all
We
men
will
of
go
God.
back to the Hague and to make sure that we can send the coffers to.
Very well. We will speak again soon, hopefully, with a Castile free of unloyal subjects. Our wars.
Alright.
However, thankfully, our queen consort will be a great ruler, and hopefully, her strength, her faith will guide us through these hard times. Let's pray for King Juan's eternal soul. I am sure that he is with our ancestors. The Iberian wedding! Yes! Yes! Woo! The crown of Castile is the union of the Castile, Aragonese, and Granadan crowns upon a single monarch's head. The dream of both the Iberian nobles and of the Reconquista has been achieved. It is a new era for Castile.
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
Hello there.
Hello.
This is
Oh,
Giovanna
younger in
Alucinagoli,
actually.
the queen consort. As Juan II has died, I will, as a good wife to him in the Christian faith, honor all promises made by him. and we will provide support to Holland, like my husband promised before he went to the Lord. God damn it.
Alrighty. Well, Holland is actually independent now, due to international pressure. I will be continuing my reconquest of Burgundy if you would like to help in that.
And we were going to go and free the remaining Dutch from the pressure of the thieving Burgundies.
Yes.
I have rebels within my kingdoms that I must deal with, but after which we made a promise and we will honor it. Oh, we can do a reform. Bureaucracy. Centralized bureaucracy, decentralized bureaucracy. Can't do Council of the Indies because we need a colonist. Regional forts. Theocratic bureaucrats. Or Casa de Contratación. House of Trade. Oh, let's do that. We're gonna go Casa de Contratación. By establishing the House of Trade and the Indies, we can organize everything that comes in or out of the country to a single place, allowing us to better tax our traders and provide more support to our subjects. Let's do it. It'll make the burger stronger too.
Hello, it is about time to go in on Burgundy. The Reconquista begins. Well, sorry, I did not mean to use your term. The Reconquest of Burgundy begins soon.
Who will be declaring this war?
I will.
We will forge an alliance with you, but after the war, I will have to obviously get rid of it due to being unable to hold it.
Understandable, my friend. A temporary alliance is worth.
Our troops are on the way. How great is the Burgundian Navy, do you know? Hold on! His Holiness has entered this war.
What?
His Holiness has sided with the Burgundians. I was under the impression that Duke Charles was not a man of God. That is why my soldiers fight.
He has betrayed us. What? The papal? What?
White peace.
If His Holiness is in this war, my troops must go home. I cannot fight His Holiness.
That is fine. We understand. We will take no land from the Pope.
Indeed.
We'll make
Nor
sure
will the
nobody-
Florentines. Gentlemen, I must return home to Toledo and go to the church
We will head
and beg
back
the Lord
to
for forgiveness.